All right, so I just started this problem, and I'm going to factor this. Actually, not, whoa. Oh, okay. I was going to factor it, but let's do my, my personal general rule is, all right, if I can see that it's easily factored, I factor. If the number in front, if there's a number in front, I use quadratic formula. If the x squared and x are together, and then it equals a number, then I use completing the square. Those are just like my general go-to things. Kind of hard to see, sorry. All right, so there's a number in front right here. And so let's just use quadratic formula. All right, and the quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You know what I mean. All right, negative b. So negative, okay, a, negative 3. B, negative 6. C, negative 5. It's a negative 5. It's an ugly negative 5, but it's a negative 5. All right, negative 6 plus or minus square root b squared. This would be ugly. Minus 4a c. This is horrible. All over 2a. All right, we got to do something about this. Like this. Okay, sorry. I'm not like neat. All right, just put it on my list of things I'm not fabulous at. 6 plus or minus, and this will be over negative 6 square root. All right, that discriminant, negative 6 squared minus 4, negative 3, negative 5. I'll just put the discriminant, that thing under the square root, in my calculator, and I got negative 24. It's a great problem, by the way. All right, so that negative 24 has a perfect square inside of it. 6 plus or minus negative 4 times 6, negative 6. I cannot, don't you do this, little kitten's gonna die. Don't do this. Let's make it red. Don't do it. This 6, and this 6, they cannot cancel. This 6 right here is in jail. He's in the radical. He can't talk to anybody. He is in solitary confinement. He did something bad. It is not 6, that's square root of 6. Square root of 6 is 2.49, blah, 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 blah. Totally different number. Don't you do it. I will come through the screen. Not really. Whatever. But you get the point. Don't do it, man. All right. 6 plus or minus square root negative 4. So square root of 4 is 2. Square root negative 1 is I. So then we have 6 inside the square root. Jail. Okay. Negative 6. Now, you can do this. Go back to a pretty color. This 6, this 2, and that 6. All of those can reduce. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Well, negative 3. 2 divided by 2 is just 1. All right, so we have 3 plus or minus I. I'm not going to put the 1 because it's understood. Square root 6 over negative 3. But you don't put a negative. The negatives always either go on top or in the front. And so we just put them in the front. Just put that bad boy in the front. It's a crazy problem. It's really good. Right, really good problem actually. All right, so we get negative 3 plus or minus I square root 6 over 3. That's a number. It's an imaginary number because of the I. And so this particular guy, let me show you something on the calculator. I'm going to y equals, and I'm going to type negative 3x squared minus 6x minus 5. All right, so I went to the calculator, I went to y equals. Whoopsies. Here we go. Oh, not what I wanted. All right, graph. Look. And so you see it doesn't even cross the x-axis. And so that's how we know it's not a real number, it's an imaginary number because it doesn't cross that x-axis. Let's keep looking. Right here, I'm going to do square root. So I'm going to do 2 parentheses x minus 3 squared plus 11 equals 0. Subtract 11 because you want the x minus 3 squared all together, like on one side by itself. 2x minus 3 squared equals negative 11. We need to move that 2. If you distribute that 2 inside that parentheses, a dog's going to die, okay? I'm saying that because there's like a meme if you Google it. Okay, I'm not really like crazy. Well, I'm crazy, but not that kind of crazy. All right, x minus 3 squared equals negative 11 over 2. All right, we've got to get rid of that squared. Why are we taking the square root? Because square and square root are inverses, like adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing. They cancel each other out. All right, so we have x minus 3 equals, when you take the square root, plus minus square root 11 over 2, and there was a minus. All right, I'm coming over here. I should have started on the other side. Sorry. I'm like not neat. Okay, so we're gonna x minus 3 equals plus minus. There's that negative, so I'm gonna pull them out as an I, and then I have square root 11 over 2. Cool. All right, but we got to get that x has to be by itself, so we're gonna add 3. 3 can't talk to anybody. All right, this is your friend Sally and her imaginary friend I, and Sally and I, imaginary friend, they can only talk to each other. Fred over here, he can't see the imaginary friend, so they can't talk. Right? It's when you're like 4 and your friend has an imaginary friend. And you're like, I don't see it. And they're like, of course, they're standing right next to you. And you're like, do they see dead people? I'm like really hyper today. Sorry. Sorry. Not. Here we go. Okay. Little caveat. Can't have a square root because this guy right here can't have a square root in the denominator. This guy right here is the same as square root of 11 over square root 2. That's the same as square root of 11 over square root 2. You can't do that. You can't have a square root or an imaginary number in the denominator. So we need to rationalize. So we're going to multiply this top and this bottom by square root of 2. When we do that, we'll get, so they're both in the square roots, so they can be multiplied. So we get square root of 22. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And so the square root of 4 is 2. These cannot be reduced because one's in jail. That's not 22. That's square root 22, which is 4.69, blah, blah, blah. Right? It's a pretty hard question right there. Pretty hard for this class. I'm just showing you some to help you out. All right. Yeah, that's pretty hard, sorry. All right, some notes. So all these things, zeros, x-intercepts, root solutions, those mean the same thing. So like, I don't know, x equals 5, x equals negative 6, all right? Factors are opposite. And we discussed that earlier. So like if the 0 was x equals 5, then the factor would be x minus 5. If the factor was x minus 6, if the 0 or solution or x-intercept or root was x minus 6, then the factor would be x plus 6, because they're opposite. And they're opposite because we set this guy equal to 0 and then we solve it. And when you solve it, use the opposite operation, hence opposite. All right, so write a quadratic equation having the given numbers as the solutions. So if x equals -4, then that means it would be x plus 4 as the factor. If x equals 5, that means the factor is x minus 5. And so if we want to write the equation, all we have to do is FOIL it. So that's x squared minus 5x plus 4x minus 20. And then just simplify. So x squared negative x, which is really negative 1x, minus 20. That's it. And so this brings us full circle into like factoring, multiplying it out. Brings us full circle into the course. Let's do another one just like it. Write a quadratic equation having the given numbers as the solutions. All right. So x equals 0, x equals 1/3. This one's way harder, and I purposely gave you a hard one. All right, so if x equals 0, then the only way x can equal 0 is if it's just x. Just hang on with me for a minute. And then x equals 1/3, so that's going to be x minus 1/3. All right, but we never see 1/3. I'm going to come back to this x. We never see 1/3. All right. You can leave it like that. You got to multiply this out. So this would be x squared minus 1/3 x. And that would be your answer. Okay. The more correct answer is this. Let's do a different color. All right. Is this. So we never see like an x minus 1/3. We see this. And here's why I got that. Is this 3 is being divided. The opposite of the division is multiplication. So what I did was I took this division and I multiplied by the x, because if I take this 3x minus 1 equals 0, add 1 to both sides, and then I divide, I still get 1/3. All right, now we multiply out, so we get 3x squared minus x. That's what we see right here. So this guy is the more correct version of the quadratic equation than that one, but they're the same. It's me losing 100 pounds. Same thing, okay? This is just what you're used to seeing me. All right, just for the heck of it. And then let's do like x equals 1/2. Just so you can see what it looks like. All right, so you would do x minus 1/2. All right, but that's not what we're used to seeing. So 2 is being divided. So you want to multiply because that's the opposite operation. And you would change it like that, and that would be the more correct. And then, like if it was 0, then you would multiply it out. All right, you did it. You watched and learned all the content in this course. Now you just gotta go finish your homework, and you gotta pray about your final. But you did it. You didn't think you could do it a few weeks ago. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.